Dinosaur Talk Radio, your favorite prehistoric podcast for research, entertainment, and all things dinosaurs.
Welcome, dinosaur fans. My name is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, and welcome to KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. You guys, I am so excited to finally start this new podcasting journey. It's just been months in the making. But a little bit about me here really quickly. My name is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony. I am in Omaha, Nebraska. I own a small business called Stomp, Chomp, Roar, because that's what the dinosaurs did, right? They stomped, they chomped, and they tweeted like birds. Or no, maybe they roared like dinosaurs. Maybe they sounded a little bit more like crocodiles. Who knows? Hopefully, someday we'll know a little bit more and we'll see that maybe they did roar like the dinosaurs in the movies, like our T-Rex. But anyway, you guys, my small business is called Stomp, Chomp, Roar. What I do is I go to schools and daycares, libraries, birthday parties, public events, and I teach kids all about dinosaurs. So I am a paleontology educator is what I like to call myself. I'm in my 4th year full-time doing this, and I've just been having tons and tons of fun. And I don't want to go too much into my small business. I'll have a future episode totally dedicated to Stomp, Chomp, Roar and to myself, and in this weird thing I'm in. So right now I am inside the Dino Bus, which is a traveling museum. That's right, I have a traveling museum inside of an old school bus. Then it was a Chiefs bus. Then it was a Cornhusker football tailgating bus. And now it is a traveling museum. And we'll touch base more about the Dino Bus in a future episode as well. But that is where I am recording the KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio podcast. So this is my new radio show-like podcast. So for some of my past podcast listeners, I had a podcast over a few years called the Dinosaur Review for Kids. So what I did is every episode, I reviewed a different dinosaur genus, any prehistoric creature for that matter, and then every 10th episode, I do a cage match. So what would happen was I would review the dinosaurs, episodes 1 through 9 each season. I'd give them a score, 1 out of 10 stars, aka we called them fossils. So then the top 2 scoring dinosaurs from that season, they would go one-on-one in a prehistoric cage match. And that was tons of fun to write. I have over 80 episodes. If you want to listen to that podcast, it is still available on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search the Dinosaur Review for Kids. But this podcast, you guys, it's a little bit more off the claw, off the cuff. So this one is totally not scripted at all. I've got a few bullet points to get us through our segments that we'll do each Friday. This is a weekly podcast, and I'm just tons of fun. Super excited to get it going, you guys. I've got goosebumps. I've been just doing so much research and preparation over the last few months to finally get this up and rolling here on YouTube, where hopefully we can grow our YouTube audience here for our Stomp, Chomp, Roar channel. Now, each episode will have 3 main segments, okay? So what we'll do is we'll have the first segment will be something called Steggy's Pizza. So you can see those pizza boxes back there, right there behind me. In those pizza boxes, we have different slices, and each slice, you guys, we have different dinosaur fun facts. Look, I even got Rexy on my phone right there. But here on, let me just check. I'm going to pull up in my YouTube on my phone as well, just to make sure our feed and everything's going great during our podcast here, our KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. But like I said, so we'll have an introduction, then we'll have segment 1, which is Steggy's Pizza. You can see those back there behind me. I've got dinosaur fun facts, prehistoric fun facts back there. Segment 2 will be the episode lesson, or our topic, our featured topic for our episode. And this one, our pilot, our featured topic, or our lesson is, what is a dinosaur? Truly, what is a dinosaur? Then segment number 3 is our prehistoric cage match. So that one, you guys, I'm super excited for that. So that is something I'm pulling from my original podcast when I did the Dinosaur Review for Kids. So So that one, what we'll do is I'm going to have a spinning wheel, 100 different prehistoric creatures on it, and then we'll get 2 random creatures, and we'll let them go one-on-one inside of our prehistoric cage match, you guys. So again, super excited to start off this new podcast, the KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. It's totally off the claw, and I'm super excited. This is going to be a weekly podcast on Fridays, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we're starting today on November 7th, 2025. So I'm super excited. But hey, let's go ahead and get in it. Real quick, a couple plugs. You can learn more about me at stompchomproar.com. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel right here so you can stay up to date with future episodes. You won't be disappointed. But let's get to segment number 1 of the KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio, and that is Steggy's Pizza. Oh no, where's Steggy? We've got to have our fun fact of the day. One fact! Everybody knows the rules. So we got some pizza boxes right here. These are sponsored by Godfather's Pizza, who happens to be one of the Dino Bus sponsors. They helped sponsor our project over the last couple years, you guys. Big shout out to them. We got some pizza boxes for this segment as well. So what we'll go ahead and do here, we'll open up our pizza box, and I'll show you if you're watching on YouTube. So you can see in there, I got tons of slices. I believe 14 different slices to start off our podcast. And what I'll do, I'll grab one totally at random. Totally at random. I don't have, you can see I'm mixing them around. There's not one I'm going to grab special for this first episode. It's totally random. We're going to grab one out. We're going to talk about it for a moment. So let's go ahead and grab it. Steggy's Pizza, sponsored by Godfather's Pizza. All right, we'll grab one out. I'll close my eyes. We've got a slice. One slice here. All right, let's see what we got here. Most dinosaurs were vegetarians. Vegetarians, you don't say. There was twice as many herbivores as there were carnivores. It's about a 65 to 35 split between plant eaters and meat eaters. So there's more people that want that veggie lovers pizza right there. So like I said, there's twice as many herbivores as there is carnivores. And think about it for a second. You have to have more plant eaters for the meat eaters to eat. So it only makes sense that we would have more plant eaters or those herbivores than we do the meat eaters, the carnivores, like our T-Rex. So T-Rex has to be able to hunt more Parasaurolophus, Triceratops, and Ankylosaurus. They're hunting more plant-eating dinosaurs than there is meat-eating dinosaurs out there stomping around in the world. So that is our fun fact of the day, you guys, is there's more herbivores than there were carnivores. Now let's go ahead and we'll move into our next segment. So our next segment is just our featured of the episode. And for our pilot today, our pilot is what is a dinosaur? So we see them in movies, in books, in comics, in TV shows. Dinosaurs rule pop culture, especially for kids. But what is a dinosaur? Because you can go on and flip on Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Dinosaur Train, any of your favorite dinosaur shows, and I'll bet you're going to see things that aren't real dinosaurs. So today I'm going to explain 3 things, you guys. What is a real dinosaur, okay? So the first one, dinosaurs went extinct. Dinosaurs don't live here anymore. So if we go and let me grab one of my picture backgrounds right here, you can see on this one, right there, we've got our geological time scale. If you look right there in that green section, that's called the Mesozoic era. Now, we'll get more into time later on a future episode, but dinosaurs only lived in the Mesozoic era. So in that green section right there, okay? And it has 3 time periods. I bet you guys have heard of them. The Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous period. So dinosaurs, the first thing to be a real non-ape avian dinosaur. Dinosaurs only lived in the Mesozoic era. Hey there, David. I just saw you go into our chat box right there. Thanks for tuning in and listening today. So we're talking about what is a dinosaur. And that is the first one, that dinosaurs only lived in that Mesozoic era, right? First thing, dinosaurs, Mesozoic era. Remember that. So nothing from before or after that Mesozoic era. Now, if I grab one of my friends over here, we've got the Dimetrodon, who I named Billy Bob. So this is Billy Bob, our Dimetrodon right now. Now, our Dimetrodon, we see it in always. I bought this one in Dinosaur Toys at Walmart, for goodness sakes. This one is not a dinosaur, even though we always see it in dinosaur stuff. So our Dimetrodon right here, this one actually lived a little bit before the dinosaurs. So if we go ahead and grab my scale right here. Let's go back to that picture real quick. If you look at this right here and you look into those blue colors, the Permian period is that one right there up there on the top. The Permian period is where our Dimetrodon lived. So it did not live in the green color. It is living in before the Mesozoic era, okay? So it is not a dinosaur down there living in that Paleozoic era. But let's go ahead and we'll switch back to our camera view right now. So number one, dinosaurs only lived in the Mesozoic era, and our Dimetrodon didn't live in the Mesozoic era, so it is not a dinosaur. Now, number two, the second thing to be a dinosaur. Dinosaurs only lived on land. So I live on land. Most of you guys live on land, unless maybe you're a mermaid or maybe you're a vampire bat. You could fly up in the sky. So dinosaurs only lived on land, just like me and you guys. So if we go ahead and grab this friend down here, I've got my Tyrannosaurus Rex, one of my original T-Rexes when I first started the Stomp Chomp Roar company. So our Rexy right here, Rex the T-Rex, this one stomps around on land, right? It walks around on land. Dinosaurs only lived on land. Now, when we see other creatures, like the Mosasaurus right here, our Mosasaurus, this one, does it walk on land like a person? Does it fly up in the sky like a bird, or does it swim in the water? So this one, our Mosasaurus, is down in the water, you guys. Mosasaurus is not a dinosaur because it doesn't live on land. Now, there is a few other reasons, but the primary reason, this one is in the water. Dinosaurs only lived on land. Now, Mosasaurus did live with the dinosaurs, so it lived with our T-Rex. It lived in the Cretaceous period. Maybe it would have came up for air, and it would have saw the T-Rex off in the distance building a sandcastle or something. Or maybe stomping a sandcastle, for that matter. But this one, Mosasaurus, lived with the dinosaurs, but it's technically not a real dinosaur because it lived down in the Mesozoic waters during the Cretaceous period. And that leads me to another very big fan favorite. So if I grab my backpack right here, we'll go ahead and open this friend up, and we'll grab a few different creatures out of here, okay? We'll grab this one. This one is our, what's its name? Say its name out there. Is it Pteranodon? Is it Pterodactyl? What's its real name? Is it Marlene? I don't know. Can you guys say Pteranodon? So our Pteranodon right here is its real name. So when we see pterodactyl, pterodactyl is like its nickname, okay? But this one is the Pteranodon. That is its real name. It means winged and toothless. Now our Pteranodon right here, does this one swim in the water like a penguin? Maybe sometimes it could go down in the water, but it's primarily up in the sky. So it's flying around our dinosaurs. And remember, dinosaurs only lived on land, okay? So this one right here, since this one flies up there in the sky, you guys, he's technically not even a real dinosaur either. So even though it's my wife's favorite dinosaur, you guys, he's technically not a real dinosaur, right? He's up there in the sky flying over the dinosaurs. So just like the Mosasaurus, it lived with them, but since he's in the sky, he's technically not a real dinosaur. And that leads me to our third point. So we talked about extinction. They lived in the Mesozoic era. We talked about how they only lived on land. Now the third and the last last thing to be a dinosaur is all about its legs and its hips. So it's perfect for its dance moves. So let me grab two more friends out of my backpack here. We'll grab a Triceratops. So this one, you guys, my little 6-year-old's favorite, Reagan's favorite. This one, our Triceratops right here. If you look at its legs and you look at your other dinosaurs' legs, if you're looking at a book or watch them in the movies, you go to the museum, you want to look at their legs, and you can see that how their legs are positioned in their hips. Their legs go directly below their bodies. They have something called an upright stance. So their legs go directly below their bodies from their hips. But then when we look at reptiles, like this ancient crocodilian right here, our Sarcosuchus, we can see this one, its legs, they don't go straight down. They kind of go out to the sides. So they have what we call a sprawling stance. Upright stance for the dinosaurs and a sprawling stance for our reptiles. And that means they're going out to the sides. So when we look at crocodiles, alligators, lizards, turtles, we can see that their legs are going out to the sides and then down, whereas our dinosaurs' legs, they're going directly below their bodies, okay? So those are the three things, you guys, to be a real dinosaur. You lived in the Mesozoic era. You only lived on land, and your legs went under your body. You had that upright stance, okay? So those are the three things to be considered classified a real dinosaur. And the term dinosaur, you guys, was coined way back in the year 1842. That was 183 years ago by Sir Richard Owen. Now, it was named after three dinosaurs. So 3 creatures had been found in the early 1800s, our Megalosaurus, our Iguanodon, and our Hylaeosaurus. So those ones, you guys, we found those creatures. The people, the fossil diggers, the early paleontologists found those 3 dinosaurs, and they realized, hey, we can put those 3 things, a Megalosaurus, which is a theropod, or a Iguanodon, kind of like a duck-billed dinosaur with a thumb, and then we have our Hylaeosaurus, so a type of ankylosaur. So they took those early dinosaurs and they realized, hey, those can create a new dinosaur family, and those are going to be our dinosaurs, or our terrible lizards. Our terrible lizards were born, and that is how we get our dinosaurs. Let's see, let me see this. Who is the Triceratops's modern relative? That's from David down there in our chat. Who is his modern relative? Do we have Triceratops today? No, but we have something called birds. So when we look at our dinosaurs, when I mentioned their hips and their legs, we'll get this more into a future episode when we kind of talk about the descendants of dinosaurs, but for right now, birds are the descendants of dinosaurs, and we can see that if I was to look out the window right now. Now it's November, so there's not as many birds as there once was, but I bet I can find one. Maybe. Maybe not. They've all flown south for the winter. But if you were to look at a bird right out my bus window right here, you could look at their legs and they would be very similar to how we see dinosaurs from long ago. So long story short, a bird, maybe even a chicken, or my favorite, a toucan, could be our modern relatives for Triceratops and the rest of the other dinosaurs. Good question, David. Now let's go ahead and we'll move on to segment number 3 as I take a sip of my coffee, sponsored by my Jurassic Park coffee mug from Universal Studios in Hollywood, California. I think it's still pumpkin spice for the holiday season. We're still rocking pumpkin spice over here at the Stomp Chomp Roar House. But let's go ahead. I want to move into our next segment, you guys. So this one I am very looking forward to. So it's our prehistoric cage match, like I said. And what we're going to do, I've got a spinning wheel of it's exactly 100 prehistoric creatures. We're going to spin that wheel, and we're going to see what 2 creatures are going to go battle one-on-one in our prehistoric cage match. So let's go ahead. I want to pull up in our wheel on my side of things. We'll grab our prehistoric cage match wheel, and let's go ahead and spin our wheel of doom for these prehistoric creatures. Let's see who we get first here. Who's it going to be? Dun, dun, dun. The Titanus terror bird. So a terror bird. So this one is coming after the dinosaurs. So a terror bird is going to be in our prehistoric cage match. Let's go ahead and remove this friend. And we'll spin it one more time. And see who we get here. Dun, dun, dun. The Corythosaurus. All right. The Corythosaurus. So this one is a herbivore dinosaur. Let's go ahead and we'll remove this, okay? All right. We'll switch back over to our camera-only view. Perfect. So we've got our cage matches set, okay? We've got our Titanus, a terror bird, and we've got our Corythosaurus. Now we'll go ahead and we'll open up our prehistoric cage match. And we'll get ready for a true battle between two prehistoric juggernauts. Well, technically not all the way. We'll grab my Bible here. So our Titanosaurus, our terror bird, is up to 6.2 feet in length and could weigh up to 330 pounds. It had strong legs and an axe-like beak, but it couldn't fly. Now, as we go to our Corythosaurus right here, in my Dino Bible, our Corythosaurus is up to 33 feet long. So this one is way longer than our terror bird. Our Corythosaurus is up to 6 feet high. It could weigh a ton or 2,000 pounds. Our Corythosaurus had a helmet-like, so this one's a duckbill dinosaur, but instead of like that big head crest like a Parasaurolophus, think of more like a football's helmet up there on top of its head. So it has a very odd crest for a duckbill dinosaur. So let's have these two friends go one-on-one. Our Titanosaurus about 6 feet long, or was it our Titanosaurus? Where's my Titanosaurus? 6 feet high. So 6 feet high for our Titanus, our terror bird, versus our Corythosaurus, who is even higher and even longer. Gosh, how do you do this matchup? So we got a Mesozoic era creature, we have a Cenozoic era creature, and they're going one-on-one. So we have those two creatures, they come up into our prehistoric cage match. Our terror bird has that axe-like beak ready to chow down onto our Corythosaurus. It moves in, trying to strike really quickly, but quickly our Corythosaurus spins around, trying to avoid the attack from that terror bird. And remember, we've got that head crest, that helmet-like head crest for our Corythosaurus as it kind of charges forward, trying to maybe use it as a little bit of a battering ram to kind of get that terror bird spooked off so it can maybe run off into the distance. But this terror bird is hungry, you guys. It hasn't eaten in quite some time. So it is hungry for a great meal. It wants meat. It wants that Corythosaurus so badly. It charges in for another attack, and this time it strikes the back leg of our Corythosaurus. And as the Corythosaurus stands up on its two legs, because it could be bipedal or quadrupedal, both on 4 and 2 legs. So it reaches up into the sky and puts out a huge roar as it gets struck by that terror bird. Its tail, though, Corythosaurus swings its tail back and hits right there on our terror bird, giving it somewhat of a daze. It's shocked. It can't believe that it's not taking down this thing so quickly. But what about another terror bird? Could another terror bird come in? A second terror bird comes in. Now we're getting somewhat of a flock coming in to attack our Corythosaurus. Oh no! If you guys will learn from future episodes, I am totally team herbivore. All those plant-eating dinosaurs. We've got 2 terror birds here now. They're surrounding our Corythosaurus, waiting to strike. One strikes, another one runs in for another strike as our Corythosaurus tries to fend them off. But I think, you guys, if the flock moves in for our terror birds and they're hungry, they're slowly going to start taking down our Corythosaurus. So our plant-eating dinosaur, you guys, our plant eater, our Corythosaurus, who's up to 33 feet long, 6 feet high, 5 tons. That's a lot of meat for maybe a Thanksgiving dinner we're going to have here in a few weeks. Our terror birds in a pack or in their flock are going to slowly take down this Corythosaurus. Now, it might be able to run away a little bit, but in the end of the day, I can't believe I'm going to say this, you guys, but with the flock available of our terror birds, that one is going to be our champion. I can't believe it. No. Why did I pick the terror birds? Our terror birds. I just David, what are you saying? The terror birds should win. I knew you were going to be picking those meat eaters. So our terror birds, you guys, our terror birds, our Titanus, our terror birds, the Titanus, are going to take down that plant-eating dinosaur. Very sad day that on my very first episode, I had to pick a meat eater to take down a herbivore plant eater. Because as you know, I love the plant eaters, and I should have said at the beginning of our podcast, my favorite dinosaur of all time, fun fact about me, is the Spinosaurus. So my favorite dinosaur is the Spinosaurus, and it's even on my mug here. So if I show you my coffee mug, we got a Spinosaurus on that side. And then if you go to the other side, it's the T-Rex. Who would win in that ultimate battle right there? Now, if you want to know who would win in a battle between Spinosaurus and T-Rex, what I want you to do is you have to go look up the Dinosaur Review for Kids and watch that final battle where I do, I believe it's probably like episode 81 to 83, somewhere in there, where I do a battle between those two dinosaurs, and it is just epic. It is great. But anyway, you guys, that is segment number 3 of our new KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. Now we're into our conclusion segment, our final thoughts for the episode, where we can really show our claws. Those big, meaty claws. Maybe from that Titanus, that terror bird. I still can't believe because I might have been a little bit of bias, and I would have maybe selected our Corythosaurus to go ahead and to take the victory, but I knew it wasn't as realistic. Now, I will go back and say, if that would have just been one terror bird, that I think the Corythosaurus would have got away. It would have ran away. It would have got away from those meat eaters, but unfortunately, the victors goes the spoils, and it's going to be our Titanus, our terror bird. But back to our closing, our final thoughts, you guys. I just want to thank you all dinosaur fans for everybody watching live or watching in the future. This is our new podcast, The Dinosaur. It's KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. More of a radio show-like format, totally off the claw. Nothing is as scripted as my first podcast that I did back over the last few years. So I'm super excited. A little bit, I'll save one little fun fact, I was a broadcasting radio major back in college, so as you can guess, I'm really living for doing this radio show like podcast, but with Stomp Chomp Roar, with my business that I've been full-time in the last 4 years. So please make sure to follow along in my new podcast journey. These will be live on YouTube every Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then I will post them everywhere else the following Tuesday. So the following Tuesday, I will go ahead and post those on my Spreaker feed, which will go to Apple, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, all the other podcasting platforms will get me the following Tuesday after the live recording on Friday. So go ahead, make sure to follow along. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Facebook page by searching Stomp Chomp Roar, and even look me up at stompchomproar.com, where you can learn more about me, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, and my business. But you guys, that is it for today. I have to sign off after episode number 1, our pilot. Now, always remember, thanks to all the dinosaurs for giving us this passion. But this is our world now. Get out there, do something good, and never be afraid to show your claws. Ranger Anthony, signing out. We'll see you later.